Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the vodcast. Welcome to the broadcast. Boys and girls, welcome to the show. I'm Nick.
I'm not Dean, I'm Brian.
And we are two of three members of Convincing Idiots. We are a podcast of typically three, but today two. Probably, I guess you could say, Brian, best friends.
That's right.
Very best friends.
That's right.
We talk about all kinds of nerd and pop culture topics. We're from three typically different generations, but right here we are representing the oldest and youngest here.
Yes.
Myself, Nicholas, I am the Millennial. Brian here is a Gen Xer. And we like to talk about all kinds of things, whatever comes up, really, whatever kind of common interests or uncommon interests we may have. We can be found on Facebook and YouTube by searching for Convincing Idiots. We are on Instagram at convincing_idiots. We are on Twitter at Convincing Idiot, TikTok at Convincing Idiots, or you can drop us an email, and that's at convincingidiots@gmail.com. We are available wherever you like to listen to podcasts, so just go ahead and ask your home assistant device to play the Convincing Idiots podcast. It's a really cool party trick, so check that out. So, Brian, we're give us the rundown. What's going on? Why are we a two-man show today, buddy? What's going on?
Yeah, this is happened a few weeks ago. So, Dean, a few weeks ago, you and I did a episode on our own.
Yes, the highest rated episode? Is that the one you
highest rated episode? Yes, one of the least offensive episodes ever.
I believe it was.
Yeah, because Dean had his first vaccine shot through work, and today he had a second shot. And we know the second shot, if you have one of the brands, you have to have two shots. The second shot's been hitting a lot of people kind of hard. So a lot of people are having some, they're wiping them out a little bit for a day, fatigue, some minor side effects and all that. So that's what happened to poor Dean today. So he's just kind of down for the count. And
Now, I will say I've heard a lot of instances of people, like you said, Brian, having certain side effects or feeling just real run down or whatever have you. Dean is the first case I've heard of anyone I know, and that is including my grandparents who are like in their 80s, that have actually had their ass kicked by both shots. So Dean is 0-2 against the vaccine, and I know no one else who has that scathing of a record against the COVID vaccinations. What say you?
Yeah, it's like there's something to do with the level of, decency or something. I don't know, something like that. I don't know. There's some
morality.
Yeah.
If you have morality, your morality cells tend to fight off a little bit of that kind of stuff. But yeah. Okay.
So that's some effects there, I'm sure. It's in the impacting. And I get my second shot Saturday, so I expect to have zero side effects. Zero.
Right. Yes.
Zero.
You will have the ultimate moral high ground. Yes.
Yes. If I have any side effects, I'm going to be complaining to Pfizer promptly. So I don't know.
Yeah.
So we're doing some, we had a few things planned today. So we were going to talk about the Justice League and another superhero bracket with Batman versus Hulk. So those are kind of out the window today. So we'll come back. We'll bring those to you soon. But so we thought we'd catch up on some pop culture topics, Nick. So you and Dean, actually, I have not seen it yet, but you watched the King Kong versus Godzilla movie on HBO Max this weekend. So
that is correct. Yeah.
Yeah. What did you think? I'm not opposing it. I just haven't gotten to it yet, just because of time. So, what was your thoughts, sir?
Yeah, I mean, I liked it. We talked about it on one of our previous episodes. Might have been the last one that came out, but I was looking forward to it, but with a little bit of hesitancy because I wasn't super thrilled with the Godzilla movies they've put out. However, I did really enjoy the King Kong one. So I kind of thought going into it, maybe not to expect too much in the way of like storyline or things like that. It was pretty much as advertised, I think. But it was entertaining. Like I really enjoyed it. It was a fun movie. I thought without going into too much detail, I thought the human characters in the movie provided a good amount of. It was a good balance, right? It's two massive monsters fighting each other. That's clearly the focal point. But there was some good comedic relief there, and you found yourself I found myself at least pretty interested in what the humans were doing throughout the movie. Obviously, Brian, as you can imagine, without having seen it or just having seen the trailer, visually it's pretty kick-ass. Like there's some cool scenes, and the battle scenes are really cool. So yeah, I was like I said, it was entertaining. I enjoyed it. I didn't like it as much as like Kong Skull Island still. But I did. It was very good. It was very good. I liked it. Yeah, I'd give it. If 10 is the highest, I'd give it an 8.
Okay.
7 or an 8. Yeah, it was good. It was good. I think you'll like it.
Solid rating. Yeah, honestly, I don't even really remember Kong Skull. I saw it, but I couldn't maybe even tell you the plot to it. But so I'm glad it was a action packed, and now we talked about this on the last episode. The first Godzilla movie with Bryan Cranston, it was like, we weren't into the human story. I think you and I agreed on that. It's just we wanted to see monsters. That's what we wanted. It's a Godzilla movie, and this sounds like that delivered better.
Yeah, that was Dean, by the way. I actually looked for. I like the balance of the two. That's actually what I like so much about Kong Skull Island.
Okay.
John C. Reilly to me stole the show in that one because he was this guy that had been lost on this island since, I don't remember if it was the Vietnam War or what, but he was just on this. I remember. It was taking place during, I think, the Vietnam War. I don't remember exactly the specifics, but he was stuck there. But it was a good human interest story, and he served as the comic relief in that as well. But yeah, it was, I don't know, it was a good movie, but yeah, I like a good balance, right? I mean, I know we're here to see a giant ape fight a giant blizzard or whatever, breathing fire. I understand that, maybe I'm one of the few that's looking for a human interest story and all this, but I like the balance. I like that if they're going to put human characters in it, I want to be able to follow their story too, and at least provide me with some sort of, reasonable idea of why, other than being crushed alive, obviously, like what's going on in their lives, how they tie into all this and all that stuff. So but yeah, it was good. It was interesting. I felt we as podcasters were very well represented in the movie, and when you see it, you'll see why.
Okay. Very good. Now I noticed that it actually is performing I think it's the best performing movie in a theater since the pandemic kind of killed everything. So
really? Okay.
Yeah, so this is as of like last week, but it had grossed let's see, a 70 million in China, which I guess is not a surprise for a Godzilla movie. It's going to do well probably, and a total take of 122 million. So so it's looking pretty good. So I'm sure Warner Brothers is very happy about that to make some money back here. So it seems like more people it's already surpassed Wonder Woman 84, but I guess that's sort of understandable. That was a Christmas time and still a lot of uncertainty and
right. And more people are getting vaccines now to where people are feeling more comfortable at this time with actually, going out in public. I know I can already see the change in, our behavior with my family, just the things that we're starting to do more and more now, as opposed to what we would have been doing at Christmas time, just because, I mean, Robin, my wife, does have the vaccine because she works with the schools and things like that. So she's feeling, better about doing things like that. And, we're still being careful and doing all the things we're supposed to do. But, definitely looking forward to getting mine lined up and get that underway. But, yeah, I mean, I think that's definitely a big part of it. And obviously, people have been feeling COVID fatigue for a long time. But now is the time where you can start to, again, while still practicing all the safety measures and things like that you're supposed to do for everyone's safety. But I mean, now you feel a little bit better about maybe, I don't know, I don't want to say a light at the end of the tunnel, but definitely some reprieve from what we've been dealing with for the last year. But how would you feel, Brian, about going to a movie right now? Would you physically go to a movie, or is it just not time for that?
Yeah, I was going to ask you the same question. That's good. So I get my second shot Saturday. As I think I don't know if I mentioned that or not yet, but I'm still not in a big rush personally. I think I want to wait a little bit longer, even though I would be vaccinated. Allie would be fully vaccinated. I don't know. It's just the extra, these other variants and stuff like that just got me a little, I don't know. Like I'll go out to a patio somewhere and small place. So I do go out. As you know, we do that sometimes too. We went out to Saturday
we were
actually for
Saturday. Yep.
Megan's birthday, which was very nice. I think I just barreled right in to ask how we were doing, so we'll get caught up on that after the next segment.
What'd you do this weekend? Watch King Kong and Godzilla.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, so we'll catch up there too. But yes, I feel comfortable there. But sitting in a theater, I just don't know what their rules are. It's people in the same room, breathing the same air for a long period of time. People will be taking masks off to eat and drink, I would assume.
Yeah.
So
and I doubt there's anyone in there too, especially in a dimly lit movie theater. I don't know what the protocols are as far as like, is there an usher watching over the room the whole time to be like, who's got masks on and who doesn't, and how closely are they watching? And it's,
to me, it's probably going to be more like the fall, probably, when some of these blockbusters come out. So by the time like Shang-Chi comes out for Marvel, I think it's like September.
Yeah.
Other than that, some of these other big movies, as we talked last week, are going to be streaming on Disney Plus for an extra fee or on HBO Max anyway. So I'll just do that for a while. Drive in, maybe, sure, absolutely. You got your own crowd. You can sit outside, stuff like that. Absolutely, I will definitely do that this summer. But yeah, not just yet. So how about you? Are you roaring to get back in, or are you going to wait till you're vaccinated?
I'm kind of in the same mindset, and like, I don't know. It's as much as I do miss going out and doing things, and I miss that movie experience. I know it's not going to quite be the same just yet. You know what I mean? Like I do. I miss like going into, getting popcorn, and even though, I mean, I usually bring my own candy and things like that. And, you gotta, be on a budget where you can, right?
Flag, alert. Yeah.
But, like I'm looking forward to that experience again. But same as you. I definitely, I mean, I have 0 vaccines in me right now. So, I mean, I'm not rushing to do that. Also, like, I don't know that I want to go sit with a mask on my face to watch a movie. Like when I could sit at home and eat what I want and lounge and do whatever. I mean, I there's both sides of it for me. But yeah, like like you said, maybe sometime in the fall. I know the Venom second movie, with the Carnage in it, will be coming out in September 24th. It got pushed back to.
Okay.
So that's a nice target date for me. Like I would like to see that in the movie theater.
Yeah.
If I can't, it's not a big deal. I'm assuming we'll still be operating under the same kind of streaming things. I'm going to get to watch Mortal Kombat at home, and I'm going to get to watch probably Space Jam will be an at-home movie too. But that's a nice target date for me. That would be a cool one. Around that time, I like to think we'd be in a place where I might feel better about doing that, or actually going to the theater again for something like that.
Yeah, I think we're on the same page then.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
All right. So why don't we take a breath here just for a second, and then we'll come back in, and we'll pick up where I barreled over and just get caught up on what did you do last weekend, Nick, for Easter and stuff, and then I think you mentioned you saw the Space Jam. Speaking of Space Jam, you saw the Space Jam trailer, so we'll talk about that as well.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Sounds good.
All right. We will be right back, folks.
Yep. All right. And we are good in 5, 4, 3.
Welcome back to Convincing Idiots. So I just sort of barreled right into the topic earlier. Sorry about that. So
we were just really excited to, talk about stuff without Dean, and it was just,
Absolutely. Yeah, we're focused on Dean and then just went right into the topic. So yeah, so this past weekend, so this is the Monday or Tuesday after whatever the day this is. Yeah, Tuesday after Easter. So how was your weekend, Nick? Did you do something for Easter? Did you celebrate? We had a beautiful Easter Sunday here in Northeast Ohio.
Yeah, we definitely did. It was kind of low key for us. So for my family, we basically every year the tradition is we go over to Robin's mom and dad's and we dye Easter eggs. She's just does that every year. She dyes Easter eggs with her parents and stuff like that.
Watch MASH or something.
Watch some MASH. Yeah, I'm sure it was on. But yeah, we went over there and did that. But and then we'll go over to typically my mother's house, and my aunt and my cousin and everybody comes over there. But my mom actually has COVID. She tested positive for it last weekend.
How is she?
Luckily, she's feeling fine. I check in on her every day, and she's feeling good. She went to go get it checked out in the first place because she just kind of had a lingering cough, and she was shocked to find out that she did test positive for it. So since then, since testing positive, she has since lost taste and smell, but feels fine, isn't overly fatigued or tired or anything like that. She says she's been sleeping great, but other than that, I mean, she's good, and she's able to work from home. So it's really a best case scenario if you're going to have it. Sounds like she's kind of lucking out with that, so which is very good. Wishing my mother a speedy recovery as well. But yeah,
our biggest fans. One of our biggest fans.
That's right.
Thank you.
Yeah. But no, we didn't do that obviously this year, so it was kind of low key. Like I did some cleaning around the garage and things like that. We cooked out that night. We didn't do the traditional ham and stuff because my wife doesn't eat ham, and neither does my son, and I'm probably not going to take the time to make a ham, so I threw some burgers and sausage and hot dogs on the grill. So it was, but yeah, gorgeous day for it. Just hanging out with the family and doing all that. But my weekend actually started with a trip to a place here locally in Barberton called the Attic Toys and Collectibles. And the reason I bring this up, it's twofold. One, it's a really cool store. The first time actually that I went in there, I didn't even know about it until we were at Stuff Genie, which is another place in town here. And we were looking for a Sega Dreamcast. It's what my son wanted more than anything with his Christmas money. He wanted to buy a Sega Dreamcast. And the guy goes, we don't do much. We don't have a lot of video games here, but the Attic Toys and Collectibles down the street there, they're on Worcester Road. They might have it. So we find out where this place is, go over there, and sure enough, they had a Sega Dreamcast with a controller for sale. That's what Lane spent his money on, and it was a refurbished Dreamcast. But yeah, it works great. Had it ever since Christmas time. But anyway, been in there a couple times, and the owner's a very nice guy. They've got it's like walking into a time capsule, like you're back in time. Like so I'm 33 years old, but like a ton of like toys and figures and things like that were out when I was a kid. They've got them like new in the package. Some of them are out of the package. But all kinds of toys, comic books, all kinds of cool stuff. Cards, video games, a lot of video games and old systems, things like that. So if you're looking for a rare accessory or something like that, you might look at a place like this. But I stopped in there to ask him if I could, maybe drop off some convincing idiot stickers to him. And he said, yeah, by all means. And, told him we'd be happy to give him a shout out on the podcast, which I'm doing right now. But the Attic Toys and Collectibles is a spot if you would like a super cool convincing idiot sticker for the people watching that looks like this. You can pick one up at the Attic Toys and Collectibles and on Worcester Road in Barberton. So yeah, appreciate him allowing us to do that. So get one of those stickers and stick them on something and go buy something cool. But yeah, I stopped in there on Friday. That was cool. Saturday had a couple birthdays, one of which I was at with Mr. Brian Fisher here.
Yes,
we went out for Dean's girlfriend Megan's birthday. Went out to Wadsworth Brewing Company, and then you guys went to place Crafted Cocktails. Is that what it's called?
Crafted Cocktail in Wadsworth. Yes, very nice place. So if you're in the Northeast Ohio, Barberton, Wadsworth, Akron area. Yeah, go check them out. You have to kind of reserve. They're a small place anyway. You kind of reserve a little bit, but we got in pretty quickly. And just a very cool old style place, dark, playing like 40s type, crooner type music, stuff like that. Pretty cool. Like a speakeasy-ish type place, you know what I'm saying? And very unique drink selections and all of that. So, yeah, definitely a little bit slightly more upscale, but a very casual place. Yeah, if you're around the area, go check them out.
Excellent.
Do you think that's why Dean wore a velvet blazer there?
Yeah.
Is it because of that place?
It fit right in. Definitely fit right in. It wasn't maybe not as much in the Wadsworth Brewing Company, but definitely fits right in at the Crafted Cocktail for sure. So, yeah. Check it out. We'll have to get up there sometime if you like, your bourbons and your rums and martini, stuff like that. Yeah, so
fancy boy drinks.
Yeah, very good. One or two, and you're just sipping and chilling. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, good time.
That's cool. So what'd you do for other than that? So that's where we crossed over. We were together on Saturday. We were, having some beers at Wadsworth Brewing Company. That was a good time hanging out with Megan's family and some other friends of ours. It was a good time. So what did you do with the rest of your weekend? What did you do?
Sunday was a very nice afternoon at Allie's parents' house. They live up in Stowe. So it was her daughter, Marlo, and then my mom was invited, which was very nice. And then Allie's sister Nikki and brother-in-law Bob. So we had a great afternoon. And his daughter Jordan, and she has a new 2-year-old daughter Olivia. So a little cute little thing. So yeah, just a great ham dinner. We did not have ham gravy though.
Damn it.
Ham gravy.
No ham gravy.
Well, I guess we're going to Dean's mom's next year for Easter for sure.
Yeah, we'll have to get that together for sure. But it was still very, very good. All the fixings, and then we were able to sit out back and enjoy the sun, and very good. And then I got a buddy that's fixing up my friend Cooper. You may know he's fixing up his parents' house right down the street here from my place where he grew up, and they're getting ready to sell that place. I went out and wound up going over there and helping him a little bit, hanging out and chilling out back, having a couple beers, cigar, helped him paint a little bit, and just that's very relaxing time to spend with friends and family. Yes. Yeah, very, very nice.
Did you get that paint roller and do a couple strokes, and you're like, all right, where's the cigar? Where's the beer?
I did paint a full door out back, so I did do that in the middle of beer and cigars. So yeah.
Were those details ironed out beforehand? Were you like, okay, so how much of it do I have to do to get the cigar? How many beers do I get if I paint this much of the door?
Yeah, I stopped by to peek because he cut down some trees out back. So I stopped by to get some kindling wood for a fire pit out back here. And he's there. I'm like, well, I can't just go by and not say hello. And then he's like painting, and it's just like, he's like, come on down and have a cigar. Like, I'm not going to sit here and watch you work. Although it did sound incredibly appealing to do that, but
right.
Nah. So it was easy work, but a beautiful day, and it's all good. So
cigar sticking out of the side of your mouth, man. It looks like that sucks.
That's what I was doing. Yeah, we're it looked like two Gen X guys with a cigar and painting. Yeah, listen to Megadeth. It's stuff like
that's how Gen Xers hang out. Paint and smoke cigars.
Yeah, that's what we do for fun. Yeah.
This door didn't even need painted. Just wanted to hang out with my buddy. Yeah, you got to paint something. That's what you got to do.
Just an excuse to hang out. Absolutely.
Definitely not going to sit around and play video games and not have sex with women. That's right.
That's right. Like those punk kids we talked about on this other episode. Absolutely.
I don't know if we've ever plugged on the podcast. That's a bit from Brian's show that he does that came from Gen X with his buddies Cooper and Skinner and Porter on It Came from Gen X. So check that one out as well. If you want to hear more of Brian and less of me and Dean, that's where you go. It's very entertaining, and I very much enjoy listening to you guys.
Thank you very much. I am the appeal across two different podcasts.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yes. So yeah. Mm-hmm. No, I'm kidding. It's just two different feels, two different things. I like this one. I like the different variations. So yeah, check it out if you guys are interested in a different take on things with the older dudes. We have some fun with that too. So
Brian, how does it make you feel to know that you're the Ryan Seacrest of podcasts of Northeast Ohio?
Right, yeah, that's the Ryan Seacrest of Kenmore / Barberton podcasting with you guys. It's quite the honor. Quite the honor. You know what I'm saying? So I just hopefully don't get shot around here. Maintain a lot of ridiculous things going on around here lately. So yeah. Anyway, on a lighter note, speaking of. I can't even work shooting into anything here. I don't know. I was trying to figure out a way to get into that. So there is no good segue.
You really left yourself on a ledge there with,
Yeah, it's hard to come back to that. So who is doing some shooting as a guest host of Jeopardy? How about that? That's not so bad.
Hey, nicely done.
Okay. So the Green Bay Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers is hosting Jeopardy this week. So they're doing various guest hosts, as most of us know if you're a remote fan of the show, since the passing of the great Alex Trebek late last year, and they're trying to figure out who's going to get the long-term gig. So I did not know this, but apparently Aaron Rodgers has been a huge fan of Jeopardy for quite some time. So I haven't watched an episode yet. I saw some clips. I mean, he looks good. I mean, he seemed to read well from what I saw. So are you a Jeopardy fan? Nick, do you care about any of this? What do you think about Aaron Rodgers? Or do you have any opinion there, or not so much?
Jeopardy in general was like, so when I used to come to my grandparents' house when I was a kid, every night at dinner time, they had one of the little TVs that would hang on the bottom of the cabinet there, and then we would sit, around there. Like, it was the coolest thing at the time to be able to watch TV at the dinner table, like,
sure.
in a dinner table setting. So it was always Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy. So as a kid, Jeopardy was definitely the lamer of the two. It was like, it's just the questions and the whatever, and it was
hard. Yeah.
A lot of, trivia, history things. And I was just like, whatever, a lot of ground to cover. So I wasn't really much of a fan. Like, now it's one of those things, like, when you get older, like, I enjoy an episode of Jeopardy.
Yeah.
It's not like I got to see it. It's nothing like that. But it's interesting to watch and play along with and see if you can guess it, I guess. Yeah. So as far as, like, who is the next host, I don't know that I really care.
Yeah.
Are they just doing this to see, like, is this like a superhero bracket for Jeopardy hosts? So they is this their trial week for everybody, and then one of these will definitely be the one, or is it like, let's just keep jumping from whatever celebrity we can get and see if any of them really stick?
I'm not sure. I think it's just it might be to maybe get through the current season, because certainly unfortunately, I'm sure you poor Alex at the time was not going to be able to do it a whole lot longer. So
right.
I'm sure they were planning ahead, but they weren't prepared to do full blown, probably trials or whatever, or auditions, I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So I would assume that one of these guest hosts may wind up with an offer, I'm sure. And if he or she accepts it, then here you go. I mean, a lot of people say the odds are it'll be like Ken Jennings, who was the long-time champion of the show. He seemed to do a very good job. Certainly, he knows that he was on it for quite an extended period of time when he was there. So,
see, I like that idea, because at least it's somebody that, does Aaron Rodgers need extra money to do Jeopardy? Like, he's a pro quarterback. You know what I mean? I get the appeal of having celebrities that but that's kind of cool. Like, what about that guy? Like, that's a cool gig.
Yeah, you got to. Certainly, Alex Trebek did that show for 30 plus years. So, if I'm, to his credit, hey, a young guy, he's certainly a well-known athlete. You could bring in a younger audience, maybe a different type of audience. He's not going to hurt bringing in the lady viewing, certainly,
Right.
And other athletes certainly have made that transition into television and done, very, very well. Michael Strahan. Never would have thought in 1,000 years he would have went on the Today Show, for crying out loud, and done well there. Why not? So
he's full on like celebrity in his own right now in a different way, like as an I don't know if entertainer is the right word, because he's just kind of a talk show personality.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is crazy to think about like that. My second, although if I were to make a different pick for the host, I think Daryl Hammond as Sean Connery would be a good host of Jeopardy.
Oh, that would be fantastic.
Once again, please refrain from using ethnic slurs. That said, let's take a look at the score. $1,000.
You think you're pretty smart, don't you, Trebek? What with your dago mustache and your greasy hair?
Look, what did I just say about ethnic slurs?
They should at least give that a week.
Man.
He deserves a week at that.
What about Will Ferrell as Alex Trebek?
As Alex Trebek,
with Daryl Hammond doing a cameo as Sean Connery. How great would that be?
Definitely.
You know,
that would be cool just for that. I initially thought that. I'm like, oh, you could have like Will, but I'm like, that might be disrespectful to like have Will Ferrell play Alex Trebek. Not that it was never poking fun at Alex Trebek.
No,
He was
Alex
just,
Trebek was on the show once. He came out while Will Ferrell was imitating him. It was yeah. I like that would be great.
Interesting. Yeah,
that would be great. But the Daryl Hammond, that's a great idea. Or how about Norm Macdonald as Burt Reynolds, like the 70s Burt Reynolds? I like that too. Turd Ferguson.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, no, Turd Ferguson.
Turd Ferguson. It's a funny name.
It says here, when you were 4 months old, Burt Reynolds, or was it Turd Ferguson was holding you at some point?
It's funny.
Yeah, chewing the gum. I love those. That's a great idea. I like they should at least do it as a like I said, as at least a clip.
My all-time favorite line from that was from so the bit was Daryl Hammond as Sean Connery. He was always on every episode. Sean Connery was there and would give the most ridiculous answers and mispronounce all the categories. And he said, "I'll take anal bum cover for 500." And then Trebek goes, "That's an album cover." Anal bum cover is one of my favorites. Yes.
Yep. Those are great. Yeah. I think my favorite category is your ass or a hole in the ground. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
So I'm Aaron Rodgers. Why not? I mean, you gotta have a gig outside of football. You can't play football forever. And
he's still active though, right?
Yes.
He's not retiring. It was Drew Brees that just retired.
Drew Brees just retired. That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
But Rodgers probably has a few more years left. I mean, he's on the back nine for sure.
Yeah, he was MVP last year. They got knocked out of the playoffs, kind of surprisingly. But and I think he's got 1 year left on his contract with the Packers. He's not too thrilled with the direction they're going. They did draft a young quarterback 2 seasons ago, certainly to back him up and to set up the future. So. You never know. I mean, he could in theory play one more season and say, "I'm out of here" if they don't do well. I don't know. So it's interesting. So hey, more power to you, Aaron Rodgers, and the fact that he's a fan, good for him. Thank you very much. Okay, so Jerry Seinfeld. Is coming back to the comedy stage. Jerry is 66 years of age, which doesn't seem accurate, but he is. So he just misses it, wants to get back to it. He probably does not need to do anything in his life other than syndication checks. Good for him. Yeah. So are you interested in Jerry Seinfeld comedy? Do you ever watch his show? Did you ever watch this stand-up?
Not really. I mean, I'm familiar with his stand. So like Jerry Seinfeld is someone, he has that style that so many people, what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of
emulate, kind of mimic a little bit.
I would say but not emulate in the way that they try to do it, but the what's the deal with what? You know what I mean? He's that style, I guess, that's very hallmark Jerry Seinfeld. Everyone knows that that's him. Obviously, the show Seinfeld, a massive hit, very popular for a very long time. I never really watched it that much, and honestly, like when I have seen it, I've enjoyed it. I've just always been with people or around people or dated people that all hated Seinfeld. So if ever it was on, it was always like whoever I was with was always like, fuck, I hate Seinfeld. So like it was just one of those things. But when I have seen it, I know growing up, like my mom used to watch it a lot, and I remember being able to like hear it from my bedroom, like hearing that like the coming back from commercial breaks and stuff like that. But yeah, like I haven't really watched a lot of it. It's one of those things. I'll put it on the list with The Walking Dead, but it's probably one of those things I don't have a lot of free time to catch up on shows. But it's one of those ones that, I'd like to watch Seinfeld. I probably would really like it. But yeah, just for whatever reason, life has just put a bunch of people in my life that hate Seinfeld, and it's just never really been an option for me to see it. But I would definitely watch it. So is he going to do like a special? Or is he or is it he's just gonna like hit the scene again and start doing stand-up shows.
Yeah, he's a New Yorker, native New Yorker, so he's doing shows in some small club in New York apparently. So I think he's just going to do like maybe local stuff, and then it hasn't said if he's going to go on a tour yet. I would assume he might, wait till things blow over a little bit. But he's just just a place in Manhattan.
Yeah. Now you're a Seinfeld fan, right?
Oh yeah, so that's. Yeah, when that came out in the early 90s, that show started, and I liked his comedy prior to that. So he was like on HBO back in the day and stuff like that. So I watched a couple of his specials and always thought he was funny. So that immediately appealed me to the show, and immediately I'm like, this show's terrific. I mean, just the writing and the characters and all that. I liked Julie Louis-Dreyfus from SNL at the time, and then she also was coming off of Christmas Vacation. She was just in that movie, so I was familiar with her at that era.
I'm a big fan of hers.
Oh yeah, I mean, everybody was so talented, and the characters were so unique. And each episode, I mean, you didn't have to watch them in sequential order necessarily. I mean, there are different things that kind of happen. But for the most part, you could sit down and watch an episode or two at any season, and it's like you're fine. It's just funny. So yeah, very consumable. I bought all the entire box set over the, so I have all those on DVD. I haven't watched them in a while, but I find myself coming across it on television. It's hard not to pause and at least watch some of it. And Michael Richards, even though he had some unfortunate bad decisions and some of the things he did on stage, he kind of lost his mind with some racial stuff, and that wasn't good. But one of the best comedic actors, physical comedic actors that I've ever seen. To me, it was like him and Peter Sellers from the old Pink Panther movies, two of the funniest physical comedic actors that I've ever seen in my lifetime. So so very, very good. And Seinfeld also very good on the Comedians in Cars with Coffee, which is now on Netflix. I don't know if you've watched those or not, but
I haven't. But I've heard of that though. It sounds interesting. Yeah.
Just I'm Jerry Seinfeld. I'm picking you up in some ridiculous cool car that I own, or some classic car or something unique, and we drive around and we go have coffee. But you're some famous comedian, and we just do some banter, and it's like a 20-some minute episode, and it's done. Very consumable, very interesting, and he's had some, pretty cool guests on. It was on some streaming service at one point, and Netflix bought the rights, and then bought more episodes and all that. So, yeah, good stuff. I like Jerry Seinfeld. I saw him years ago at the Akron Civic Theater. If he's around, check it out, and chip away at the Seinfeld's episodes as you have more time would be my recommendation to you.
Yeah.
Okay. Why don't we take another pause, and we'll come back, and then we'll talk more about yet another very huge show that launched in the 90s, and which is also planning a reunion very soon. So we'll talk about that. Okay.
All righty. Yo, Nick back here with Millennial Santa. That is none other than Brian Fisher. Here on Convincing Idiots, we're a two-man crew today. No Dean Harvey. He's sleeping off his second vaccine shot, but we are here ready to go. And so we were just discussing some different things that have gone on in pop culture this week, different shows, things like that. We left off on Seinfeld. And Brian, you were about to bring up another popular show from the 90s that is incredibly near and dear to my heart, and that would be none other than
Friends.
Yes.
So Friends, their a reunion show is being planned for HBO Max. I don't know if I'm sure the month is on here, but it's coming up soon. I think it's going to be sometime this summer. So it's not a full reboot. You see some of these shows are wheeling back out Kelsey Grammer as Frasier and stuff like that, which is fine.
Right.
I don't know if we need to reboot all these old shows and everything, but this is not a reboot. This is kind of just a reunion special. And then I'm hearing that they may do at least a segment of this reunion in character, as if They are at their current ages as these characters, kind of what's going on. I'm interested in that a little bit. So, so you mentioned you're a big fan. So have you watch all the episodes, or
I've seen every episode no less than 15 times, I would say, every single one.
Okay.
So a little background here, when I first met Robin, I had a framed poster of it was like the Friends cast on like the famous New York scaffolding, like of the construction workers, but it's them. Like I had a framed poster of that in my living area. And she was like, I knew that was a good sign the first time I came to your apartment and saw like a Friends poster. And to this day, I have the Friends box set with all 10 seasons and stuff. She has every season individually, and we still own both of them. And also the main reason that we subscribe to HBO Max is because Netflix took Friends off in order to go to HBO Max.
Yep.
And rather than just change out discs and continue to watch Friends all night, every night, it's easier to stream them. So we signed up for HBO Max, or Robin did, I should say. But yeah, we're big fans. Big fans. It's on every single night. It's kind of what we fall asleep to when we're done watching our shows or whatever. It's what's on because it's enough of like we've seen them all so many times that like you can close your eyes and like go to sleep, but still like see the episode because you can hear it and you know exactly what's happening. So yeah, big Friends fan. Grew up watching it. Watched it while it was on. Have watched it pretty much nonstop ever since it's been off the air. So I'm definitely looking forward to this. They've talked about this for a while. A Friends reunion. So what that means was never quite clear. So I say all that big spiel about how much I love Friends to say this. I do love Friends. I'm a massive fan, but I haven't necessarily always really like needed this or wanted this. I felt like, it's my favorite show of all time. And I feel like it's 10 seasons of like perfectly done sitcom, like TV show content. I think they just, there was at no point that I feel like, those last couple seasons of Friends just weren't quite as good. Like, everybody has their favorite spots of a show that runs that long, or, certain places the characters were in those times. But for me, it just flows really well. And it was always funny. There wasn't a point where like, Friends isn't really that funny anymore. It was always good to me. It always kept the same kind of tone. So, at the risk of like messing with it and feeling the need to like relive nostalgia and bring something back, I'm like, don't bring it. Like if they were going to do like an episode that was, just solely them catching up and, they're in character the entire time and maybe it's not as good. And I don't know. I just, you know what I mean? Like it was always my fear that what if they come back and this reunion is just like some sort of cash grab and it sucks. Like, I don't want that. I'd rather just have nothing. But I like the idea of a reunion. And if there's a segment of checking in on them, in present day, whatever, with them and their kids and how their lives progressed after they all moved out of the city. That's a cool idea for me. I like it. And I think another thing, too, is like we do this a lot. I think, Brian, both us and Dean as well, with Star Wars, we critique it so heavily because it's so important to us. We're so harsh on anything that's less than what our personal standards are for this thing because it's so special. So I think sometimes you got to step away from that ideology and just go, you know what? This thing is perfect the way it is, and it's always there for me to enjoy. But now we can, do this too, and it can exist in the same, reality or universe or whatever have you. But that was always my fears. Like I kind of don't want him to mess with it. I feel like it was perfect. Just don't screw with it. It's fine. But it'll be interesting. So what about you? Are you a Friends fanatic like myself?
Well, first of all, it's a very nice story that the fact that you're both of your loves of that show was something that you and now your wife of not wife, excuse me, your partner, and may as well be, but you get it, your
life
may as well
partner.
be your wife,
life partner.
Yes, you have a family with now and all that, so It's very nice when you have a common interest and that helped bring you two together. That's very cool. So I did watch every episode. It was something that it was on. I think it was maybe I want to, if I remember correctly, it was like the big Thursday night must-see TV on NBC.
Mm-hmm.
So I think at the time they had, I think it was probably like Cheers, Friends, and Seinfeld. And actually, Seinfeld, they moved Seinfeld to Thursday to help it because it wasn't doing so well on its own. But they put it on after Cheers in the whole huge Thursday lineup that it probably saved that show and kept it. So I don't know. I watched the first season or so. It was okay. It's pretty good. And honestly, it's one of those things I would probably set the VCR and just record those 2-hour blocks, mm-hmm. which is probably something that NBC probably helped rely on as well. Frankly, people are going to sit and watch for a couple hours, or they're going to record for a couple hours, and they're still going to get the commercial and the viewership and everything. Over time, I'm like, do I really like this show, or is it just because I've sort of followed these characters for so long and now I'm just going to kind of ride it out at this point? Probably some of that.
Yeah.
Would it have performed as well today in this? We talked about this on the other podcast, actually. Would it perform as well today with the huge variety of content that we have? You could probably make that argument with a lot of shows, frankly. I don't know if it would or wouldn't. But I don't know. I liked it. I did like the characters. They were unique in their own way. Like any episode, some were better than others. But I did watch the whole thing, and I'm sort of interested in the reunion. I like the actors. I'll check it out. But why come back and do it?
Lack of original material from other people, mostly.
Sure.
Probably.
One of my favorite shows and podcasts is PTI on ESPN with Michael Wilbon and Tony Kornheiser. But one of the quotes they use all the time is, "The answer to all your questions is money."
Right.
Why this or why that? And it's like, and there's your answer to this question as well. Why come back and do a Friends reunion? Money. That's why. Because HBO Max is like, hey, we want to bring viewers here. We have the catalog. Let's pay whatever it is to get these actors to come back together, which I'm sure was not cheap, to come back and do this, to get people, appeal people like you as a big fan to, if you're not already a subscriber, they already got you guys just by having the catalog there, which is great.
Right.
And they'll solidify, you certainly by doing this, and then they'll bring in other people. So that's, of course, that's why they're doing it. But I don't know. So.
Well, I remember when Robin got HBO Max, I remember that sentence coming out of her mouth when she was like, yeah, well, we got to get it because Friends is on there. She's like, also, when and if they're doing this reunion thing that they're talking about doing with Friends, they're going to have it. So that was already part of the long game from the get-go. Was like, if they do something like that, that's what it's going to be on. And so we'll have that too.
Yep.
So
there you go.
Yeah. Also, side note, when you were talking about some of your favorite physical comedic actors.
Mm-hmm.
One of the first ones that always comes to mind, and he was in my head when you were saying that, was David Schwimmer on Friends. Yeah. Some of the scenes that he's had, just the way the way he would emote himself physically in certain situations and scenarios, like some of the things that he did on that show are some of my favorites. He's one of my favorite physical comedic actors.
Who was your favorite character?
When I was younger, it was always Chandler because of the things he would say.
Mm-hmm.
But I think as an adult, I identify, or like in my younger adult years or whatever, or into adulthood, I think I identify personality-wise more with Ross.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he was always my overall favorite male character. You always kind of rooted for him. He had his son, he had the tough times and all that. So, yeah, certainly I rooted for him to get with Rachel, certainly. So, yeah. So he was probably my favorite favorite female character. Probably overall was Phoebe, frankly.
Yeah,
it's an interesting, quirky person. So yeah.
I liked her, and my least favorite was Monica because as the series went on, they made her so much more neurotic as it went on. She was always had a certain, from the get-go, she would always like things clean and whatever, and had this, desire to impress people because of the relationship with her mother and things like that. But as it goes on, it gets a lot more ridiculous, and there's some episodes I'm like, I don't really like Monica, but it's all of them in their own way. That's, I think, another thing that made that show so enjoyable to me is I didn't really dislike any character, and all of them had their shining spots and their ways, that things about them that I liked, or things that they would say, or so yeah, it's just all around good dynamic, all 6 characters.
Yeah, certainly launched a lot of careers, a lot of different people. Paul Rudd, and I know Tom Selleck had a little comeback on there and stuff like that.
Yeah,
if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
and,
Dr. Richard Burke. Yep.
Yeah, good stuff. All right. Well, more stuff that what is old is new again. Space Jam. Now, you said that you recently saw the new trailer for Space Jam with our Akron's own LeBron James. What did you think? Are you excited for this movie, or what's up?
Yeah, the trailer, it's interesting because it's definitely it looks like it's. Did you see the trailer?
I have not seen the trailer, actually.
Okay, so it looks somewhat of a reimagining, I guess. It's a I kind of took it as kind of like, it's still LeBron James, popular NBA superstar, teaming up with Looney Tunes, but it's not the same. It does not seem that it is the, it's not the Monstars coming and taking NBA players' talent. Michael Jordan's got to help the Looney Tunes to get it back. And there's, it didn't really convey that thing. It seems to focus more on LeBron's relationship with his son in the movie. His son gets sucked into some sort of database or something like that. Also, I was a little disappointed that they will not be, the Toon Squad will not be playing against the Monstars. They're playing against a team called the Goon Squad. So, whatever. There again, like I just said, the original thing's always going to be there. You can enjoy that. So I'm trying to just go, yes, okay, they're not just going to remake the same, Space Jam, but with LeBron instead of Michael Jordan. So just, take it for what it is. But it looks interesting. I'm interested. The trailer didn't blow me away. I wasn't like, wow, like, obviously for nostalgia's sake. And I've mentioned a few times on this podcast how much I enjoyed Space Jam as a kid and what a big movie that was at the time for kids my age. But I wasn't blown away by it. It was cool. I'm like, oh, okay, wow. It made it kind of that much more real. I'm like, wow, this is really happening. This is a trailer for it. But the trailer didn't blow me away. I wasn't, over the moon about it or anything like that. But yeah, definitely a different kind of vibe from it. I would like to shout out, and I have it right in front of me. There was a tweet that I saw that was hilarious. So in the trailer, LeBron James, when he realizes what they're up against, I don't know who he's talking to, but he like turns into a cartoon version of himself, and he goes, man, he's like, we're going to need the best of the best. I got to assemble a super team. And there's a frame of him writing down on a whiteboard where he's writing Superman and Gandalf and King Kong and the Iron Giant. And somebody took that screen grab of the whiteboard of him writing down these names. And it says, LeBron can't even do Space Jam without assembling a super team. Michael Jordan won that shit with Bill Murray and Newman from Seinfeld.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought it was very clever. But yeah, no, it looks okay. But it actually, I don't know if you're familiar with the movie Ready Player One. Did you ever see that? Steven Spielberg.
That. So, I like that one. Yeah.
I did too. So, there's this big scene where they're in this internet, the online gaming system, whatever. So their avatars can be anything. And you see, all kinds of these iconic characters throughout all of pop culture. But there seems to be a moment like that where you actually, I think you see the Iron Giant, and there's some other notable cartoon versions
that
of
big
other
battlefield
things where they're all coming in on Space Jam. So there is a scene, there's something like that on here apparently too. So I don't really know what that's all about, but yeah, it looks interesting. Don Cheadle's in it. And he seems to has something to do with he's part of the server or something that his son gets lost in. I'm not sure about all the details about that, but yeah, check out the trailer. It looks okay, but definitely different than the original. So did you ever, when the first Space Jam came out, you were probably definitely in your 20s at the very least.
Oh yeah. I was in my,
maybe 30s.
I was in my mid to later 20s.
Okay.
I did see that in the theater. Matter of fact, they had a double feature at the time. It was I want to say it was it might have been the original Star Wars special editions.
Okay.
When they first started to add the extra stuff, and he re-released those in the theater.
Yes.
So I think it was the original New Hope special edition and Space Jam double feature, which was a interesting combo. And we went to see Star Wars. It's like, we're here. We liked the Looney Tunes of Michael Jordan. Larry Bird was in it. Why not? So we watched both movies. And I enjoyed it. Again, I was older. It wasn't like a kid, but I enjoyed. I grew up with the Looney Tunes. But yeah, we had fun that day. It was me and Cooper and another friend went, and we had a heck of a time. So I think it was it might have been the Rolling Acres Cinema.
Oh, wow.
Which is now an Amazon distribution center at this point. The whole building was, the mall was wiped out years ago. But yeah, I think that's where we went. So it was, I enjoyed it.
Still makes me sad when I go by that Amazon fulfillment center.
Yeah, at least there's something there. So they keep trying to bring back the Looney Tunes. I just hope it works. I mean, they've tried different cartoons, and some of these newer Looney Tunes cartoons are good.
Mm-hmm.
You can never top the originals from the 40s, probably, but so hopefully it generates some renewed interest in Looney Tunes, and they can, maybe make a little mini resurgence, and we need some more Bugs Bunny around here.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I think they gave up on it after Brendan Fraser couldn't revive the Looney Tunes, and they're like, well, what hope do we have?
Maybe. That was Peyton's first movie I ever took her to, right there. The Looney Tunes.
Is that right?
Movie.
The Brendan Fraser Looney Tunes?
Yeah, she was a little girl, a little tot.
Yeah.
Yeah, great time. Okay, so we'll check out Space Jam 2 when it comes out. Let's see here. Certainly not good news here. We certainly hope for the best here. Grammy-nominated rapper DMX had a heart attack recently, and unfortunately, it seems like he's in pretty bad shape. He's at a hospital. They have his fans have been coming around and playing his music. It's sort of like a whole vigil thing where they're just kind of gathering and just kind of celebrating his music and all that stuff. He's in White Plains, New York. He's only 50 years old, so he's right around my age. So it's unfortunate. I am not really, again, I'm just not familiar. So you are familiar with DMX. What do you think about him? Or go ahead.
I was never really, he was very popular, especially about the time when I was in middle school. DMX was like the thing. Everybody had his CDs and their Walkmans and stuff like that, like that they would bring to school. I mean, DMX was very popular. I was never really a big. I didn't dislike his music or anything like that. He, for whatever reason, never appealed to me personally that much. But I just know how popular he was, and like it's weird because like at a certain point, I don't know about you, but I feel like you stop aging in your head at a certain point, and like I just kind of stopped at 23. So me being in middle school, like it doesn't seem like someone that was popular then is like. I mean, anybody can have a heart attack, but I mean, like, it's kind of weird to like, see people that were popular when you were of a much younger age that doesn't feel like it was that long ago. And he's now, what would you say, 51?
50 years old.
That's still very young.
Sure.
But yeah, it's unfortunate. I mean, I don't know how much he's been, he was kind of like one of those legacy rappers, like, DMX's name never went away. Like, I don't remember the last time I heard a new DMX song, and I could be totally off on that. I'm sure he probably has been making, musical contributions in some way or another over the years. But as far as the last time, a new DMX album dropped that I heard about, like, it's been a long time since that's really been on my radar. But yeah, he was that legacy of DMX never really has gone away. Everybody, Chappelle's show used to spoof on him a little bit too. He always had that. He had a very aggressive style. He would bark and X gonna do to you, and like bark and like that was his thing. He had that deep growly voice, and he was like in your face and saying real raw shit to you, and like that was just his style. So DMX's legacy for that and for his candor and the way he was like or is, I shouldn't speak of him like he's gone, but has always been there. So yeah, it's really sad news. But he definitely left a lot of impact, a lasting impact on a lot of people, even from someone who didn't really follow his music that closely. You know, I was very familiar with who he was, and for so many people my age, I mean, he's probably one of the ones that got a lot of kids my age into rap music. Around that influential time when you're hitting that age, you're finding your own musicians and things like that, and your styles and your tastes, what you're into. So DMX was definitely a big one for my age group for sure.
Okay, cool. If he could hear that, I'm sure he would very much appreciate that. So good. Yeah, sounds definitely very influential. I will go check him out sometime. I'm not against rap. I just not something I normally gravitate to. But yeah, I like a lot of that stuff. So yeah, I'll check it out. Okay. Well, certainly DMX. We hope you recover.
Yeah.
Hope you're at peace. So yeah, absolutely. So it's unfortunate. Okay, and you mentioned, by the way, it's like, when you think about people you grew up with and how unusual it is, it's like, oh my gosh, this person's just older now and stuff like that. I've been getting these, Cameo ads on my Facebook feed. Do you get those?
No, I don't get them on my Facebook feed, at least that I've noticed, but I have looked up different people on it. But
yeah, we've looked into that with maybe even doing a spot for the show here and something like that. We probably will do that at some point.
That'd be cool.
When we pull our money together. But some of those, it's a real fucking bummer, man. I don't know if you've seen any of those.
Well, because and also then when you put a price behind their name too, then you're like, oh, this person that was like on the cover of Hit Parader for me is like, I can get him to say hi to me in person for $25.
Oh no, yeah, but some of those it's like, ow, it's like I'm like, I looked up the $1 Million Man, the wrestler.
Oh, Ted DiBiase. Oh yeah,
Ted DiBiase. Yeah.
Yep.
And it's a picture of him. You remember him in the 80s.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
The feathered hair and the
yeah. So then what you can do is you can click into their photo, right? And then you get a few, as you probably know, but if you don't know out there, Cameo, basically you can hire a celebrity or personality. Thank you. More of a personality. And so a lot of these are older celebrity, whatever. Okay. But you can pay them to say some type of a personal greeting for something, birthday or whatever. It's very short. They range for anywhere from $50 range to a few $100 range, depending on who you're looking into. But then you can pull up some sample videos that they've actually made. Okay. So these are current videos of that personality, to use your word. And like I said, some of those I've looked at, I'm like, man, it is a real bummer. Like I said, it's just, hey, we all get old. It's inevitable, but the Ted DiBiase, I'm like, Jesus Christ. It's like, sounds just like him. And you could tell it's him.
Say, that's what I would need it for, is the laugh.
And that's what he did on the thing. So you knew it was him. And it was very good. Don't get me wrong. But, it's a man that's in his probably mid to late 60s, 70s, whatever it is. He's probably somebody's grandfather right now.
Yep.
Probably his grandkids probably love him doing the bit and everything. I don't know. I'm just assuming. But it was like, wow, some of these, like I looked up Tawny Katane, who was the girl on the White Snake video. Talk about.
Oh, on the hood of the car. Yep. Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, very incredible back then. I'm just like, again, still pretty. Don't get me wrong. But it's like you see, you know what I'm saying? It's just, that, like I said, happens to us all. I look at Stephen Piercy.
Oh, yeah.
He was playing a guitar. Yeah, good. But clearly it's a guy, late 50s, whatever it is, already, whatever he is. And it's just like, anyway.
The thing that's weird to me, I've scrolled through that website and I'll see some people and I'm like, oh, like so-and-so from like Power Rangers is on here. And I'm like, they want $150 and I'm like, who do they think they are? And then other people, you know what I mean? It's kind of interesting to look at it, but like you get to like judging people by the price, because I think they set their own prices. They decide what they're willing to do it for, which is cool. Right. And hey, man, it's a cool, easy way to make money, especially in this time. If somebody wants to throw you $30 to like say happy birthday, Rachel from your whatever. Hell, I mean, that's cool. not judging, but you do get scrolling through and you look at the price range and you're like, you start to judge, subconsciously, like, oh, they see themselves like this, like, oh, okay, like, it's not the 90s anymore, buddy. Like, you should back off on that price a little bit. But no, it's interesting to like go through and so there's a lot of people available, like through
tons.
I mean, yeah, you mentioned wrestlers, musicians, man, celebrities of yesteryear, whether you're talking the early 2000s, 90s, 80s, whatever. I mean, there's all kinds of people on there.
Absolutely. Yeah, it'll happen someday. Yeah, the guy that did plays the evil Cobra Kai guy, talking about from Cobra Kai. Yeah. He's on there, and I'm like, his videos were good. I'm like, how cool would it be to have him do a intro for Convincing Idiots?
That would be cool. Yeah. You'd want to bank on somebody with a very definitive, distinct voice.
Oh yeah,
like I want them, like because there's no mistaking who it is. Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, absolutely. So
and now's a good time to bring up, guys, for the low fee of $130 right now. It's on special.
Yeah.
Nick Schaefer from Convincing Idiots will do a cameo for you. 30 seconds or under. And then Brian Fisher here for a 16-ounce container of Dean's Mother's Ham Gravy will also give you a 30-second clip. So be sure to look us up on Cameo.
I would accept that as payment, absolutely, without a doubt. Yeah, and or a pint from Ignite Brewing or something like that probably would be sufficient as well at our current level of stardom. So absolutely, I would say the Ultimate Warrior, his price was like rock bottom.
Oh, was it?
Rock. I'm joking. He's passed away. I'm kidding.
Oh, that's right. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Number one, don't tug on Superman's cape. You know why? That'll get you hurt. Number two, don't spit into the wind. I would think that's for obvious reasons. Number three, don't write checks that your body can't cash. Oh, and speaking of checks, I don't even like checks. You know why? I'm a cold, hard cash man. Oh, there's nothing better than the smell of money, don't you think? Oh, yeah. Hope you could get a few of these, too. And you know what, Rob? You know the biggest difference between you and me? I'm filthy rich, and you're not. Fourth, and certainly not last or least. Always remember this, Rob. For the rest of your life, everybody's got a price for the $1 Million Man.
Anyway, okay. I should have used
Dwayne Johnson. The Macho Man.
Macho Man. Yeah, I should have used him because he passed away as well. Anyhow,
that's right. Okay. I forgot about the Warrior. Yeah.
Yeah, it's too bad.
That sucks.
Okay. Last topic I have here. No, did you have any other topics? We covered your stuff, right?
All my stuff that I had, I think, is we've gone through.
Okay.
Also, real quick, we already kind of talked a little bit about, but so baseball season is started again.
Yes, indeed. Full season, they're trying.
Yeah, full season, and also some teams are even trying full stadiums. Did you see? Because my Toronto Blue Jays here played the Texas Rangers the other day. They're in a series with the Texas Rangers.
Oh, Texas lifted all their restrictions.
Yeah, there's no limitations. That's a full house, man. Like as many people as you can fit in that son of a bitch, they're in there. Most of them are without masks. Some of them have them. It's just what the hell ever.
Does not seem. Yeah,
it felt icky to even like visually look at it. I was like, this just feels wrong. Like I didn't know if you had taken note of that or had noticed that, but yeah.
I did not see, but that makes sense. Yeah, people's gonna get sick, unfortunately. I mean, it's too bad. Yeah. It's too bad because people are, you're out in that environment, even though you're outside and everything else, but you're obviously you're close, you're going to drink, you're going to lose, you're going to be yelling and screaming. And some people's going to get sick. Unfortunately, it's going to result in some spreader things, I'm sure. It's too bad.
Well, in keeping with the slogan of the great state of Texas, everything is bigger in Texas, and that includes COVID-19 numbers. So there you go.
That's right. Yeah, we're in Northeast Ohio, so Cleveland, they probably could release the restrictions and maybe still have around the same number of fans, I think.
That's probably true.
Yeah. That's too bad. It's too bad. 2016, oh well. Okay. Yeah, and one of the most unusual television specials that I've ever seen advertised, that we may ever see advertised in our entire lifetime, Nick.
Okay.
April 18th on NBC, so primetime, major network. Two, and you think about one, it's hard to not think about the other, really, if you really think about this. So you have Michelle Obama teaming up with, who do you think of when you say Michelle Obama? Obviously Barack Obama.
Yeah, Barack. Okay.
Like who would be second?
So Michelle Obama is a powerful black woman in the United States of America.
Correct.
Has captured our attention and our hearts, and
that's right.
I would say I would only liken to Michelle Obama to someone that of the same stature of an Oprah Winfrey, or perhaps a Miss Beyonce, Queen Beyonce Knowles. Are either one of these people the ones that you're speaking of?
No, you're incorrect. Good choices. Good guesses. It would be none other than Matthew McConaughey. So, Michelle.
Okay. Obama. Well, all right. Okay.
Yeah. I can't believe you missed that.
I know. Yeah. So I mean, you just gave me the perfect layup, and I just whipped like real hard.
Yeah. I don't know. So what's all right? So yeah, Michelle Obama joins Matthew McConaughey for an NBC vaccination special. Roll up your sleeves. So yeah, so it's all about so the former First Lady, Matthew McConaughey, and Hamilton creator and star Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Miranda, yeah.
Yes. So obviously, they're trying to do something good. They're trying to encourage people to get vaccinated. A lot of worry out there. A lot of misinformation doesn't help. People nervous about the vaccine. Certainly, the at the end of the day, the more people that get vaccinated, things will open up more quickly and safely, whether you believe in that or not. I don't care if you do. You and I believe in it, so whatever.
Right.
As does Dean, of course. That's why he's out. Yeah, but you think about back in the 70s. You got the Carol Burnett, Sonny and Cher variety hour, and then you take that and you fast forward to 2021, and you have the the fucking vaccination special, for Christ's sake. What a strange time that we are living through here. So what do you think about the vaccination special? Do you think it's ridiculous? Do you think it sounds good? Will you watch any of it? What do you think?
I think if you were to go back in time and imagine what the future was going to be like, this version of reality is weirder than us having flying cars.
It is, yes, indeed. Yes.
I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I wouldn't not watch it, I guess. I'm not going to make time for it.
Yeah.
But now I'm pretty interested. I honestly was not aware of this until you just said that. So I'm interested now to see what the dynamic duo of Michelle Obama and Matthew McConaughey can bring. So there's that for starters. Are they co-hosting this event, or
it sounds like the three of them are probably co-hosting it like that. I can picture that.
Is it like Amy Poehler and Tina Fey hosting like the Oscars or whatever?
I have no clue. I would assume so. I bet they're on the stage together, talking and encouraging people. They'll probably have. I don't know what they're gonna have. Maybe Waylon Flowers and Madam or something like that will come out. If they're still alive, I don't know. I wonder.
So like Michelle Obama is like
Ted DiBiase is gonna come out. From Cameo.
For the low fee of $200, the $1 Million Man has made his way to the vaccination special.
I think Jake the Snake might have been on there too. By the way. How awesome would that be? Yeah.
He locks Matthew McConaughey in a room with a bunch of king cobras like he did to the Ultimate Warrior. Bastard.
Yeah.
Got him again.
I like that. Yep.
Okay, so that's interesting. Because damn well. So like Michelle Obama over the years, in her time as First Lady, has headed up many health initiatives and things like that. So when you say COVID-19 vaccination special hosted by Michelle Obama, no red flags are raised. I'm like, that sounds like something she would do to try to encourage people and to make a healthy decision if they're unsure, to maybe put people at ease, something like that. And I'm not saying Matthew McConaughey doesn't care about people's health or safety. I just feel like he's a little more of an off-the-board pick in this one.
Yeah.
I would be less shocked to hear Oprah or Beyonce. But I mean, okay, well, good on him. He's definitely, there's definitely star power there. Matthew McConaughey, we all know who he is. It's interesting. It's definitely an interesting duo. That can probably only be rivaled by Mike Myers and Kanye West at the Hurricane Katrina benefit.
See, you got to get the vaccine, man. So we got to get back into the flow.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? As society, and we're not really in the we're in the we're just not in the flow, man. Is there any way he does not say all right? Is there any
I was just
way
gonna say, like,
not say
don't y'all miss just feeling all right?
Oh, yeah. See, that might be a quote. That's actually pretty good. We should predict. I'm sure that we'll find a clip.
There's gonna be a catchphrase.
How will he? Sure. Yeah, we'll have to work something in with Dean. Whoever gets the closest will. The other two guys got to buy him a beer or something like that. So
yeah.
How will Matthew McConaughey work in all right into what you said is pretty solid. So you can rethink your choice, but I think that's pretty good. So we'll come back and recap that. So we'll have to predict that ahead of time. That's very good.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I've got something I got to go off in my head, but I'm gonna fine tune it. But yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay,
that's good.
Well, that'll be interesting. I look forward to that. Will there be musical guests? Will there be appearances by other celebrities? What's going on? Is this a telethon? What's going on?
There's not much information, at least not in this particular.
COVID-19, Michelle Obama, Matthew McConaughey. Those are the words.
What else do you want?
That's right. Roll up your damn sleeves.
If you need more than that to watch, then we can't help you.
That's right.
We cannot help you at all. So,
you're past the point of being saved. Sorry.
That's right. You should just get the vaccine. You should just get sick and whatever happens.
Yep.
So anyway, all right. So that's what I got here. So I think it's good. On that note,
it's hard to top Michelle Obama and Matthew McConaughey. So
it really is. Yeah. This episode has been all right.
Yeah. It has.
So Nick, why don't you remind the good people out there where they can find us? If you don't mind, please, sir.
Yes, of course. Well, we can be found on Facebook and YouTube by searching for what is on Brian's beer glass right there, Convincing Idiots. There it is. Look for that little Einstein head logo. He's on everything. We are also on Instagram at convincing_idiots. We're on Twitter at Convincing Idiot, singular with no S. On TikTok at Convincing Idiots. We can be reached via email at convincingidiots@gmail.com. We're available all of your major podcast platforms. Wherever you like to listen, you will find us there. You can also ask your home assistant device to play the Convincing Idiots podcast, and they will do exactly that. So, for another episode of Convincing Idiots, I am Nick.
I am Brian.
And for our third member of Convincing Idiots, Dean Harvey. Have we convinced you to roll up your sleeves with ourselves and newest member of the podcast, Michelle Obama and Matthew McConaughey? Roll up your sleeves.
Say, man, you got a joint?
No, not on me, man.
It'd be a lot cooler if you did. All right.
Hi everyone, today I'm going to show you how to make ham gravy.